Hello and welcome to WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. I'm Meredith Marakovits alongside the manager himself, Joe Girardi. And don't forget, for those of you watching at home, if you have a question for Joe Girardi, there are 3 ways you can reach him: email, Twitter, or log on to the Yes Network Facebook page and drop a line right there. Now, Joe, some interleague play upcoming week, and you started off with Milwaukee on Friday. How much do you enjoy going to a place that you hadn't been since 2005?
You know, I enjoy it. I love seeing the new ballparks, the atmosphere, and obviously Milwaukee's been playing great, so it's a good atmosphere to be in. Got a chance to see Bob Uecker, got a chance to see Joe Torre, who was honored here on Thursday night, so it was nice.
You came into the series, and they had the best record in the National League at 22-13, but you don't get to see them play all that often. How much did you really know about that team heading into the series?
You don't know as much as you know about the teams in your division, but I did know that they've been pitching extremely well. We saw Gallardo Friday night, and you know, we were fortunate. We get a big 3-run homer from Solarte. The first time through the lineup, he was extremely stingy. We didn't really do much off him. Got to him the second time through the lineup, but you don't know as much, and you're not sure, you know, some of the situations that they're going to do. You can scout them, and we do all that, but it's still different when you play them all the time.
And it's the first time that fans had the opportunity to see your pitchers in the batter's box. Now, I know that's a point in time for you where you're kind of just holding your breath every time they're up there, right?
Yeah, every time they go up, you really do. I mean, we got a 2-week period here that I'm going to hold my breath a lot.
Well, Masahiro Tanaka had been so good for you this season, so I had to imagine the worry was a little bit extra when he was in the batter's box. But what'd you think of him?
You know, he put some long at bats on him. Not a lot of contact, a little different leg kick his last at bat, but the good thing was he came out of it healthy, and that's the most important thing.
Look at what he did on the mound. Is he just a guy that you continue to learn more about and continues to impress you as time goes on?
Yeah, and you see that he really knows how to pitch. I mean, he knows how to make the adjustments. His split was really good on Friday night, and he got a couple up at the end, and those were the ones that he hit. But I thought he pitched extremely well, and I was anxious to kind of see him hit a little bit because I saw, you know, when
he took Larry Rothschild deep a couple times. When
I was scouting his tapes over the winter, I saw him hit a double, so I was kind of excited to see him. But he was facing a pretty tough pitcher.
You mentioned that his splitter was very good. I spoke with him in the clubhouse Friday night, and you would have thought he gave up 10 runs in that game. He said, I just wasn't very good. I didn't feel like I had my best stuff. Joey went 6 1/3 and gave up just 2 runs. What does that say about his competitiveness?
He's a perfectionist, and he expects great things. And he breezed really through the first 5 innings, and then he started to make some mistakes, and I think that's probably why he was so upset. He probably felt that he should have given us a complete game.
And you look at that, and he was asked whether or not he saw Yu Darvish's performance. Did you see that Friday night?
I did.
Close.
8 2/3. That's twice now, right?
Yep, second time.
Yeah, I heard that David Ortiz got him in the 9th. It's got to be kind of frustrating. I knew he did it against the Astros a couple of years ago, but it's got to be frustrating for him.
When you look at the product so far with Tanaka, what else can he do to be better out there? Because he's been pretty good.
I don't know if you can expect much more out of him. He's 5-0. He gets deep into every game. Friday night he did a really good job of keeping his pitch count down the first 5 innings. I don't know there's a whole lot more he can do. Maybe he can hit a 2-run homer. If he gets another shot, maybe that's it.
He will face another National League team at their park. I believe he's pitching against the Mets, right? So, is it the Mets?
No, he will not. Yes, he will see the Mets, so he will get that opportunity.
Maybe at City Field.
It's a big field.
You never know. Now, you look at the pitching staff. Coming into the season, it looked as though that was going to be a bright spot. Then you suffered some big injuries. Obviously, Ivan Nova gone for the season. Michael Pineda, the suspension, and then the injury as well. And it seemed as though it was a little shaky for a while. How happy were you to see the performances you saw out of Vidal Nuno and David Phelps the last time out?
Really good. I mean, Phelps, he did a tremendous job considering that he hadn't seen hitters for 11 days. Gave us a great start in Anaheim. And then Nuno fouled it on Wednesday, going 6 1/3 and shutting down Anaheim. And, you know, they can be tough on lefties because they got some big right-handers in Trout and Pujols in that lineup. And I was really pleased with what they did. And you need your starting pitchers to get on a roll. If you're going to put long streaks together where you win 8 out of 10 and 7 out of 10, your starting pitchers have to give you an opportunity, and that's what they've been doing lately.
When you look at Vidal Nuno, is there anybody that's more cool and calm than him? He seems crazy laid back, Joe.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if that's the California attitude, but he is extremely laid back. He had about 50 people in the stands on that Wednesday night in Anaheim, and that's basically his home. And I'm glad I didn't know about it before the game because I probably would have been a little bit more worried about him because sometimes that puts a lot of pressure on you. But he got a big ovation when he walked off. They were all behind our dugout. It was great to see.
Now, CC Sabathia meant an awful lot to this Brewers organization when he was here. 17 starts, 11-2 over that span. And what I can remember from that is how many times he went on 3 days rest. Now, what did you learn about him from that? Because obviously not a part of the Yankees until he signed free agency. But did that show you a little something about
Well, you
CC?
knew he was a gamer. And that he really wanted to be in the middle of everything and compete and get to the playoffs and help them get to the playoffs. And that's what he did. So I think it told you a lot about CC. Here's a guy that's throwing a lot of innings, going on 3 days rest a lot, and it's his free agent year. He's all about winning, and that's all he cares about.
I had mentioned Pineda already. Any update on him? How far away is he?
I think he's just beginning to throw, just beginning to play catch. So, I mean, this is going to take a little while. I think they're looking at more 4 to 6 weeks probably, just because you got to build him back up. That's the problem with a pitcher. If he's a reliever, it's not that long, but we got to build him back up.
You look at the bullpen, for the most part, they've been pretty consistent. Sean Kelly had some issues in Anaheim, and we learned on Friday night that he's been having some back troubles. How much do you think that played into that game in Anaheim?
You know, I don't think a lot. I think it happened after the game, in a sense that he didn't really feel it until Wednesday when he came to the ballpark. And, you know, our bullpen has been so good that they're going to have days like that. I mean, it's human nature and it's part of the game. But it was a shocker because our guys don't walk people. And they've done that all year. They have not walked people, and we walk people. It's just a funny thing happened.
Part of you hope that they got them all out in that
they
one. And if they were going to do it, they did.
They got them out for the month.
Any real cause for concern with Kelly?
No. I believe he'll be back. This is just short. It's day to day, and he'll be fine.
You look at the offense, you had heard so much about Derek Jeter. Is he getting too old? Can he do this anymore? And he joked after he hit his first home run, it looks like I'm young again. How difficult do you think that is for a player to have to answer those questions and hear that all the time?
Well, I'm sure it gets to be old, in a sense, for him. Because, you know, if he goes 5 for 10, he's young. If he goes 0 for 10, he's old. And he's probably going to go through that. And that's what happens when you age as a player. Anytime something goes wrong, it's because you're old. And, you know, if you're overweight, every time something goes wrong, it's because you're overweight. So it's just what happens to players. But I really believe it motivates him and pushes him. So if people want to keep irritating him, it'll probably work out really well.